Hello and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekend, the show. I'm Mal Lee, your host for this evening. If you don't know me by now, then obviously I'm not doing my job well enough at grassroots football. If you've been out and about today in the glorious weather, I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves, especially over the weekend. It's been absolutely fantastic. It makes a difference, makes a change to the weather that we've had recently. It's very, very dry, and now we're getting all complaints, aren't we, about wow, the weather, save your water, the water bills are going to rocket. I can't understand this, I really can't. And what they're saying is it's all about repairs now. Repairing, and it's going to cost millions. And I think the government should turn around and pay for all these water bills and all these repairs. And it shouldn't come out of the people's pockets, I really don't. We're paying too much, far too much, and I think it's a joke. You might hear church bells in the background, and hey, it's Sunday, what more could we ask for? Everyone's been out and about at church and at grassroots football and probably celebrating. Wherever you've been today, it's been lovely, and the kids are probably enjoying themselves like our team yesterday. It was great, the sunshine was unbelievable, everyone's catching the sun, a few rays. It will change probably by next week, and the weather will probably come in a little bit worse, but I'm not too sure. I haven't even really checked on the weather for next week, but I'll be doing that a little bit well, sooner rather than later. So if you've been out and about all this weekend, please let me know. Tell me, mal@don'ttextheline.com, how you are finding it on the sidelines, on the field of play. Has it changed? I really do believe this season, you can see, has been a lot more improved regarding poor touchline behaviour. I think people are really starting to get the message. Slowly but surely it's working, but we've said that every year, and I looked at last year and you could see what was going on at the start of this season. It has been trouble in grassroots football, what I've seen on social media, but it hasn't been towards referees, it's been towards each other, which is still bad because it's all in front of the kids, and we need to stop that. We need to nip that in the bud and stop watching kids. I saw a post just last week and I thought, oh wow, disgusting. Little kids must have been about 10 years of age, and it was until I realised it was rugby. I was still baffled, because we hear these great things about the sport of rugby with kids football and things like on kids side. In kids football, they also, but rugby, you don't see that at rugby. And we actually saw a post, and I couldn't believe what I saw when I witnessed that one lad actually dived in and done a rugby tackle on I don't know how it was all mayhem, but it just shows you they're taking that sport to the next level, really. Rugby tackle to get this, it didn't make sense. It really didn't make sense, and the kids were getting involved, and that's what I've seen. But it wasn't football, thankfully, and even rugby, we don't want to see that, because it's all about the kids, it's all about support, and it's all about encouragement for them. Let the kids develop, and that's the post that I put on there today on social media. You may have seen it, and I just felt like I thought, it's coming towards the end of the season. Everyone's enjoying themselves, everyone's had a great season. It's flew over, don't get me wrong, it really has flown over. And I put the post out basically saying, before you know it, the kids are in bigger sizes, they're in a different age group now, they're going up in age. And you've got to buy them different items of clothing. And before you know it, the new season's on top here. And I've just put on there, life is too short, and it is. It just gives you that moments where you're thinking, it's passing me by. So is it really worth going out there causing mayhem in grassroots football, from the sidelines towards the referees, towards each other, towards the kids? It isn't. You've got to let the kids develop their skills, you've got to let the kids enjoy it, you've got to let them play, and also leave the referees alone to officiate. You don't need to support them by telling them what decision they should be given. You don't. You really don't. And to me, you've got to realise this is why I'm stepping down from management. I've done it for another 2 years. I've done it many years ago, and I got back into it. And I swore I never would. And over the 2 years that I've got into the grassroots football, You know, I've still wear my t-shirts, I still talk to people, I still talk to the referees to make sure that those referees are okay from the sidelines, you know, and people respect that. People know when you're around. And I still talk to them, but while I was doing my football, it's harder to do because you have to go and do a game. And then you're really shattered because you know you've got to get on and do your admin. Well, what I've witnessed and what I've seen over the 2 years that we've done with our under-7s, we started last year, and then they moved into under-8s, and we got them into another under-7s, and we were taking these teams on board, and many teams were asking us could they come under our affiliation. Well, I wouldn't allow that. I really wouldn't, and that was not being nasty to the teams, because I'll always love to give kids a game of football, but when you've got established teams and they want to come under your radar, it doesn't make sense, it really doesn't. We wanted to develop teams the way we have. Now, the under-8s, who they are now, are a very, very strong outfit, and they finished their last game yesterday with a 10-1 win, and, you know, to me, and support, and they finished off with the Team of the Season Cup. That, from the Merseyside Youth Football League, is absolutely fantastic. They monitored our team under Don't Cross the Line banner right the way through the season, and there's not been, excuse me, a report from the referees towards them. Now, over the 2 years, I can hold my hand up and say, under the DXTL banner, these teams have not had one complaint in 2 years from a referee. There's no reports gone in, there's no misconduct charges against them, and unblemished, that's what we are, unblemished as a club. And they finished the season yesterday with that massive trophy, and they're going to bring it in and say, keep that in your office. Because there is memories, it's great memories, they're going to be emotional memories. Looking back on it, you know, I really would love to keep the team going, but you couldn't find anyone to do all the admin, to do the subs, the collecting, to make it into... I've made it into the club that I wanted, and that is really getting the parents who appreciate, under our code of conduct, who appreciate us putting their players into teams and encouraging the kids and developing the kids. But I've seen a massive decline myself in management. I can see it, and what I mean by that is I'm talking to many coaches week in, week out, who are telling me they're just having enough. They're going into grassroots football, you know, they're fed up of all the admin that they're doing, same as me. What you've got to do, you know, your safeguarding, your DBS, which, don't get me wrong, safeguarding and DBS are fantastic, the courses, but you've got to work around what your life, you know, so it really takes your time up. You've got to understand, I've got one job, and that is support work, and I can't get to do that, and I do all the voluntary work, and I've been doing that for over 20 years. Everyone knows what I do with Don't Cross the Line, and I want to make sure that grassroots football is absolutely brilliant, absolutely enjoyable, and that's the way we've worked. You know, we want to keep our referees within the game, we want to keep the kids playing, and that's what we do, and we've been doing that successfully for over 20 years. So we went into management, and the reason I went into management was to get the kids covered in respect, don't cross the line. Now, over those years, the 2 years, especially our under-8s, people have been trying to blacklist the name of Don't Cross the Line and respect. I've done that to portray a message, and as I've just said today, unblemished records from the two teams, yet other teams, with the jealousy, with the hatred, I don't know what it is, are trying to make a mockery of Don't Cross the Line. They want you to make a mistake, they want you to force the arguments on, get your parents fighting, they want you to have a go at the referee. It's just amazing that now a lot of lies came out, a lot, over the season, and there'll be many managers backing me up here, and anyone who's seen me and my son on the touchline will know that they're all for the referees. Every single coach and manager will question a referee, but in a nice way. Majority are in a nice way, not the idiots basically who are shouting and screaming at the referee because the referee has given a decision. That is totally out of the question. That is not us, that is not the club. And, you know, with a top team going in, the experiment that we did do, I wanted to get a team together, an under-7s, and just say, do you know what, we'll take these kids basically off the streets and put them into a team. And now going back those 12 months ago, my under-7s could not kick a ball. Under-6s they were then. They could not kick a ball. They were racing towards the wrong way. We had to tell them which way to kick the ball. They were all at the ball. They were all getting clustered and frustrated, and they couldn't, honestly, they were literally running over the ball, falling over, and that's just it. They were tackling each other. Now they're forming into a team, and that's a great experiment. But because they lost so many games, that team was the best team ever. They were respected, the managers loved them, they're all, because they're losing week in, week out, or they were. Now, the under-8s are totally different. They're a strong outfit, high level, and winning games. Now, the difference is jealousy. When your team's winning, you're hated in grassroots football. It's wrong. It's wrong. I love to see my team go against better players, because I believe it develops those kids on a football field, coming across kids who have got that extra level, if you like, and extra motivation, extra skills that they're only developing into. They're just learning, because these teams have been playing 12 months ahead of the team that you've got. Now they're catching up slowly but surely, and the kids are realising, and in their heads, I know what to do now. I know if I shoot and score a goal, I know if I pass, my partner, my opponent will be under pressure, the kids can score, and I'll get back. And they start listening to your coach, and they start listening to instructions, and it's in their head, because the instructions we want to give is just to where they should be. And the development is absolutely amazing. They're coming up, holding their own, and as I say, they're in a final next week with a higher level team. We're not frustrated at that. We're not, because win, lose or draw in the 40 minutes, we're not bothered. They're in a second final in their first season. How many teams can boast that? And they've won trophies. The two teams have won trophies. And I can't, you know, I can only turn around and just say what a successful 2 years it's been with Don't Cross the Line. Now I know there's many grassroots managers out there, and I put posts on, they're really, really nice posts, and managers will not like them because it's supporting the referee. But yes, if I see them, then, oh yeah, you're doing a great job. They won't like and there's a lot of jealousy as well. People don't like you getting publicity. People do not like you. They want it all, and they'll go hell for leather to try and take that away from you. And I can see all this in grassroots football, and I've seen management teams right up, because I'm standing on the line listening, and I just see how people get so frustrated with the game as well. Now this is not through referees, this is through parents and managers and coaches that I see, and I can see social media posts. Don't get me wrong, I've never had a bad social media post, and I won't put a bad social media post out whatsoever. Mine are all positive, and I just want to be positive. People will agree with what I'm doing, but they won't like it. You know, the videos we put out, people will not agree because they don't like referees. They really don't, and you can understand my frustration at that, because the majority of our referees within leagues are kids. They're all still at school. So why can't you support a referee? We're not talking Premier League here, we're talking grassroots football. There's a difference. Those Premier League referees are in a job, that's a paid business. Yeah, you could say the grassroots referees are in a job, a paid business as well. But what we're trying to do is develop the kids, and that's why we're into management. But I think the pressure, going back to why I'm stepping down next week, yeah, the day before Jurgen, but I'd made my decision halfway through the season. I was going to do it halfway through the season, but I thought, carry it out, and, you know, give it to the end of the season. Let it pan out, but the kids are really growing in trust. You know, you get used to them, and you start looking and thinking, wow, what a team, am I doing the right thing? You do. But you have to draw the line. And I know these kids deserve the respect, and they're going to get it, because Sophie is staying. Sophie will be with them, and they get on great with Sophie as well. They absolutely drowned her yesterday with water. It was great to see. But you have to see why I'm doing it, because of all the admin, because of the courses. The things you have to do, you get your photographs, you chase up the parents for their ID, and people could say now, say, oh yeah, you only have to do it once. You don't, because the kids are grown, and if they don't like the photograph, you've got to do a replacement photograph and get it up there, and then you have to give all the details into the parents. Yes, I agree, the majority is safeguarding, but why are volunteers doing all the admin, not just the whole game system? It now turns out to be you're doing it for the leagues as well, because you have to go home and put all your scores in. So the admin of the league is non-existent. And I used to love the old school where you used to give the card in, that was your team, there you go, and if there was any team checks, the committee came out and done it off this sheet. It's not anymore now, it's just, yeah, they're checking out on the whole game system, there's lanyards, and don't forget, we were first to bring out these lanyards. Now people are all doing it now over the leagues. I didn't get the credit that we deserve, but people are taking up the idea of lanyards, cheaper lanyards, and putting them on. Yeah, all the managers, all the coaches, and it was Duncross the Line who came out with the lanyards first and the ID cards, and that was when we had the hubs working, and you had to do your QR codes, if you remember, and I'd done them all on the back there, so our code was there, people were asking me, and we were getting them, and they were saying this is fantastic, but all the turnstiles basically stopped in the hubs, so you didn't need the QR code, and you know, it just went from there. Yeah, but all you want is credit where deserved, you know, and the credit to go to other people who do it in the leagues, they're getting the credit. Great, fantastic to see, but what I'm trying to say is there's too much for a manager to do and a coach, there really is. Many managers and coaches will still stay out there, especially the paid coaches. It's nothing to them because they're getting paid for it. And clubs are bringing in a lot of money in grassroots football. It's become a real big business. And I didn't want to see that. I don't want to see, I kept my subs down to a bare minimum, £20 a month. £20 a month for them. But we had to put it up as another £7.50 on top of that a week. That was when we were training in Jeffrey Humble. That was a lot of money. It was a lot of money to pay out. And obviously, if you'd got funding in, we would have done that free for all the kids. We don't like to charge. We went out and got sponsors for the kids, for the kits, so they didn't have to spend on that. So we're saving the parents money all the time. Now I'm looking where the subs are now coming up to something like £35 a month, and also an extra £5 a week if you want one-to-one training by an ex-pro or something like that. Is it a good thing? I do not know. But what I'm saying, the clubs are making it into a big, big business in grassroots football. This is all not-for-profit. Anything that we do, it goes with a CIC Community Interest Company, all goes back into grassroots football. I'm a volunteer, and my other volunteers, we walk the pitches, we walk to protect the referees. We don't get paid to go out and do that 7 days a week. And then you've got people in these jobs who are just checking your work, and you're getting the blame, you're getting fined if things don't happen. And I just think the managers and coaches are getting a raw deal as volunteers, because you are the backbone of grassroots football. Take your managers away from grassroots football. Take your managers away. What are you left with? What are you left with? You know, you can work that one out yourself. People are telling me, and I support them, that referees are the backbone of grassroots football. We say no ref, no game, and the reason behind that is, as you know yourself, if you're a manager and you've been told to referee a game and try and organise your team, it's a pet hate. It's a no-go. You don't want to do it. Great, you can save money, fantastic, but you want to also organise your team. And the less said about that, the better. But that's what the reason where no ref, no game comes into it. But where do you draw the line? There's just far too much work involved in running, managing and coaching a team. There is. And I just think that managers and coaches deserve more respect and more support out there rather than getting what they get, because I'm still waiting for stats to come out to tell me when managers and coaches go into a disciplinary, how many have come out on top and walked away without a fine. I'd like to see those stats. I really, really would. Because if a referee puts a report in, the referee's report is nailed down and in truth. But if it went to a court of law, I think you'd see a difference. I really, really do. And you have disciplinary officers listen to your cases, but there'll always be a clause where you fail to control your parents and there'll be a big fine for that club. Everything else is all, yeah, okay, we can sort that, not a problem, you've won that case. But you failed to control your parents. And I see that and hear that a million times to all these managers and coaches. Every one of them gets stuck with that. Now, how on earth a manager, when they're trying to coach the kids, can control their parents from the background is really, really hard to do. And even the governing bodies who run teams, they've got that to do as well. So it should be good for me just to get out and about next season and do what I do best, and that's with Don't Cross the Line. And I'll still be around the team, I really, really will. And I'll be there making sure that they grow up and they do the right things, because attitudes are very, very important. So the methods and the reasons you can see are why I'm stepping down, and I can see it first hand. I really, really can, as to what's happening in grassroots football. Now, we're going to find a lot of managers stepping down, and I can see that by the season. And I did say that to the Liverpool County FA and a disciplinary officer, that you're going to see a lot more. And shrugged his shoulders, laughed at me and went, they all say that. Well, I'm stepping down and my son's stepping down. There's two from management. And all the courses we've done. It's a waste, it really, really is. How many more? I'd love to hear from you. mal@don'txtheline.com. How many teams are folding and giving up for next season? I'd also like to hear and see that one as well. Look at this, we've gone way over our time here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the weather. I hope you're enjoying the grassroots football, your final games. But you've still got to do loads of respect on and off the field of play. Respect your opponents, respect your referee, respect the kids on that football field. You can't go wrong. Go out to grassroots football to enjoy, and make sure your child enjoys it. Because as I say, life is too short, and you want to give that child good memories, not the bad memories of verbal abuse, aggressive behaviour, racist comments and bullying in the team, or just letting them see it. It's not right. Let's respect our referees, keep them in the game, and football, at grassroots football, will be fun and enjoyable to watch. I'll carry on doing my own thing, but next week I stand down with Jürgen. I really, really do. So thank you very, very much indeed for watching the show. We'll be back again on Friday with young commentators. In the meantime, put your feet up, relax, have a fantastic day, and enjoy work this week, because it's coming back to you all week, and you've got to make do with that. Hopefully it's not too hot in your workplace. We'll see you again on Friday night. Good night, God bless.